Glad you could join us for our 7:30 news bulletin. My name is Tandiwen Zumara. Let's have a look at our top stories. Pope Francis appeals for peaceful solution in Nagorno-Karabakh. Legal Aid Bureau for increased women and children legal assistance access. Court orders continuation of auctioning of refugees' confiscated containers. And in other news, Rwandan President Paul Kagame to run for fourth term in 2024. You have the details to these stories and more to stay with us. Francis has appealed for countries to silence their weapons and seek peaceful solutions in Nagorno-Karabakh as tensions flare in the South Caucasus region. In his remarks to Italian-speaking programs at his Wednesday general audience, the Pope expressed his concern for the region's humanitarian crisis, which is now aggravated by additional armed clashes. We have more details in this Vatican News report read by Herbert Kadanda.
In his remarks, the Holy Father addressed his appeal again to all the parties involved and to the international community so that they may stop using weapons and make every effort to find peaceful solutions for the good of the people and respect the human dignity. The group's Ministry of Defense announced the military operation, describing it as an anti-terrorist action against the ongoing attacks by Armenian forces, and after a number of civilians and policemen had died in a mine explosion in recent days. According to various media, the group army has already bombed the main city, which is under Armenian control, and other Armenian positions. Armenian authorities reported 2 civilian casualties, including a child, and 23 wounded. The group authorities reported the death of a citizen in Shusha, an important city in the region, following an artillery attack. Speaking at his general audience, Pope Francis also recalled martyred Ukraine and expressed his prayer for former President of the Italian Republic and President Giorgio Napolitano, who is seriously ill.
Hopes are alive for increased access to legal representation for vulnerable women and children following the signing of a pact between Legal Aid Bureau and Women Lawyers Association. Spokesperson for the Bureau, John Malinga Jr., has since told Luntha TV that the two institutions share the same values for access to legal services by marginalized communities. Robert Edward has more of the details.
The 3 years MOU will see Women Lawyers Association taking cases from the Bureau on a pro bono basis. In the agreement between the Malawi Legal Aid Bureau and Women Lawyers Association, the association's members will be taking up the cases and the Bureau will be registering the hours spent on the case with the Bureau, which will be recommending the particular legal practitioner for certification of practice renewal eligibility to Malawi Law Society, making the pact a win-win, according to the Bureau's spokesperson, John Malinga Jr.
The Malawi Legal Aid Bureau and the Women Lawyers Association of Malawi to facilitate the provision and management of cases that are looking into the protection of rights for women and children. As the Bureau and Women Lawyers Association share common values in terms of assisting the vulnerable, we will ensure that women and children that are poor in the country are accessing the justice that they deserve. So through this memorandum of understanding, we will be sharing, as a Bureau, will be sharing case files with the Malawi, with the Women Lawyers Association, and through this MOU, those cases will be undertaken by the Women Lawyers Association members as pro bono cases.
It remains a call for action. The fact that the Bureau's lawyers are few compared to the volume of need for legal representation by people who cannot afford a lawyer, and women and children remains victims of the circumstances. Currently, the Bureau has 41 lawyers, with the number expected to increase following the current recruitment process at the Bureau. And from January to date, the Bureau has handled 3,205 cases, 994 which involve women and 146 involve children. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
The Ministry of Homeland Security has announced that it has granted a 25-day extension by the courts to open and search containers that were confiscated from some refugees and asylum seekers during the relocation exercise. The ministry spokesperson Patrick Bota says that they will use the 25 days to ensure that every container is opened according to the court's direction, which is also to auction publicly any perishable goods. Charity Shilanga has more details.
Ministry spokesperson Patrick Bota says having opened the 40 containers in the 15 days initially granted by the court, they are optimistic that they'll manage to open and search the remaining 85 containers in 25 days. He adds the delay to finish the exercise in the 15 days was because different stakeholders are involved. Some of them are Financial Intelligence Authority (FIA), Anti-Corruption Bureau (ACB), immigration and independent observers that have varying interests in the matter. He said perishables found inside the containers like soybeans, groundnuts, among others, should be disposed through public auction. According to Bota, as of September 19, 2023, 55 containers have been opened and searched, with about 70 containers remaining.
It is ongoing, and actually we've been given an extension of 25 days to carry out the open and search exercise of these containers as the court order.
The ministry has also revealed that to date, 2,286 refugees and asylum seekers have returned to Dzaleka refugees camp through enforcement of relocation, and some returning on their own. Charity Shilanga, Luntha Television, Lilongwe.
As maize farming is becoming a nightmare, with farm inputs becoming expensive and climate change a recipe for poor harvest, different organizations are moving in to promote alternative food sources such as potatoes in Balaka district. International Potato Center has introduced itself to the District Agricultural Extension Coordinating Committee that will bring a project that is promoting potato farming so as to help farmers get other means of having food in their homes apart from relying on maize. Rashida Matandika has written this report.
Speaking to the media after presenting the project to the District Agriculture Extension Coordinating Committee, DAEC Research Associate at International Potato Center, Harvey Charlie, said the project is not merely promoting potato farming, but also technologies that will help in sustaining agriculture systems from over-relying on maize-based farming system. Charlie said with the challenges that maize is facing in terms of pests and diseases and its vulnerability to climate challenges, people need to look at other options, especially on crops that also have better nutrients, and potatoes are the best option to promote.
Here specifically we'll be looking at the orange fresh sweet potato, because we have this white sweet potato, we also have the orange fresh sweet potato. So the orange fresh sweet potato is high in beta carotenes, while the white one is high in terms of just dry matter.
In Balaka district, the project will be implemented in Utale, where farmers face challenges of dry spell most of the farming seasons, and the committee has approved the implementation.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center, and today with me, Tandy Wenzumara. Continue watching Luntha as we bring you more news right after this short break.
kukhazikitsa Central Equipment Identity Register CEIR. Inde makina a CEIR apereka chitetezo kwa eni handset ndi mafoni am'manja popereka mphamvu za mtsatira kapena zoletsa kugwiritsa ntchito foni yawo pamene yasowa kapena yabedwa. Mphamvu yowoneratu ngati foni ili ya original kapena ya fake asanagule. Komanso mphamvu yonenera mafoni okhudzidwa ndi zaukathyali kuti asathe kugwiritsidwa pa network iliyonse muno Malawi.
Wow! Chingira!
Chitetezo cha foni ya m'manja patsogolo. Mukafuna kudziwa zambiri, lumikizanani ndi bungwe la Makra pa email dg@makra.mw kapena imbani 261 mwaulere pa network iliyonse muno Malawi. Uthengawu likukupatsirani ndi boma la Malawi kudzera mbungwe la Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, Makra.
Personal growth to business solutions, there is no limit to what you can imagine. It's time to reimagine banking. Centenary Bank, our bank.
Welcome back. Let's have another look at the top stories before we proceed. Pope Francis appeals for peaceful solution in Nagorno-Karabakh. Legal Aid Bureau for increased women and children legal assistance access. Court orders continuation of auctioning of refugees' confiscated containers. And in other news, Rwandan President Paul Kagame to run for fourth term in 2024. Smallholder farmers in Kasungu districts are opting for cooperatives when it comes to marketing their agricultural produce. Telling their stories to journalists who visited the Kaluma Extension Planning Area in the area of Traditional Authority Nyanja on Wednesday, the farmers who are also working under NCADC's Transform project said they are now able to get better income
from Chadoloma, Chamunya, Chamakala and Chanjovu primary schools under Feed the Children program, coordinated by Food and Agriculture Organization FAO and World Food Program WFP to promote pupils' nutrition.